Pro Group Management. Workers' comp that works for you.
Welcome to Nevada Newsmakers. I'm Randi Thompson, sitting in for Sam Shad. Today I'm talking with Brian Bonnenfant and Dr. Eugenia Larmore about how the Truckee Meadows has recovered from the recession. Coming up next on an all-new Nevada Newsmakers.
Reckless government spending on frivolous projects is bad enough. Even worse, spending to send COVID relief checks to criminals in prison. Senator Catherine Cortez Masto voted to allow COVID relief checks to go to the likes of the Boston Marathon bomber and hundreds of thousands of other convicted murderers and criminals, allowing almost $1 billion in COVID relief checks to go to hardened criminals in prison. Tell Senator Cortez Masto to start voting against reckless, wasteful spending to stop inflation.
Retail's impact on Nevada's economy? Enormous. 8,600 businesses, large and small, employing 145,000 workers. And last fiscal year, retail paid tax on nearly $60 billion in sales. We're the Retail Association of Nevada. We support retail, we help it grow, and we mean business.
RANNV.org.
It's the $250,000 Progressive Windfall of Cash at Carson Valley Inn. Weekly Progressives could accumulate up to $35,000 in cash and $20,000 in guaranteed grand prize giveaways. It's the $250,000 Progressive Windfall of Cash at the Carson Valley Inn.
The Nevada Builders Alliance has been protecting the interests of the construction industry for over 50 years.
Our programs save members thousands of dollars every year and allow them to provide much-needed benefits to their employees. Our industry also allows Nevada to grow. If you're thinking about a career in the construction industry, reach out. And if you haven't thought of a career in construction, what are you waiting for? We are the Nevada Builders Alliance.
It's the $85,000 football frenzy at Tamarack Casino with up to $15,000 in weekly cash and free play giveaways and $25,000 in grand prize giveaways Thursday, September 29th. Your good times are at Tamarack Casino during the $85,000 football frenzy.
This is Nevada Newsmakers with host Sam Shad, a no-holds-barred political forum. Now, from the Nevada Newsmakers broadcast headquarters, here is Sam Shad.
And welcome back to Nevada Newsmakers. I'm joined by two incredible people. I love these two people. Brian Bonnenfant, Project Manager for the Center of Regional Studies at UNR, and Dr. Eugenia Larmore, President of Ekay Economics Consultants. You guys just do incredible work, and I just so appreciate how you are keeping us informed about how our economy is recovering from the recession, and even before then. I mean, I've been working with you guys for years on just tracking what's going on in our region. So you're brilliant minds, and I thank you for your talent. Thank you for being here today. Eugenia, let's start with you, because you have Ekay Consultants, which is economics and looking at our region and how we've recovered from the recession, even before that. But I mean, how are we doing in the sense of the shutdown to where we are today, and how are things looking for the Northern Nevada area?
Overall, things are doing great. You know, for years we were in the gaming industry. We thought gaming was recession-proof. We obviously learned gaming was not recession-proof. We have found another niche that we really believe is recession-proof, and that's really logistics, manufacturing, natural resources. And that is really what carried us through the pandemic. Business closures, we lost 35,000 jobs in May of 2020. About 15% of all of the jobs in the region, in Washoe County, Reno-Sparks region, a lot of that was in the leisure hospitality. By December 2021, we have gained all of those 2019 jobs right back. By today, we have gained another over 10,000 jobs. What's interesting is we're still down compared to 2019 levels in the leisure and hospitality jobs. So we were missing 2,400 of those jobs. Where we have gained is over 5,000 jobs in the manufacturing industry and close to 3,000 jobs in logistics and construction industries. So we have really shifted away from that leisure and hospitality services industry to manufacturing, which is great news. Not only are the wages significantly higher in those industries, this is really where the economy, the national economy, is headed with, you know, with the tariffs issues, with the war, with supply chain issues that we saw through COVID. We're really taking a closer look at onshoring or nearshoring, bringing production and bringing transportation to the U.S. And becoming a hub of that, that's really, the Federal Reserve is talking about how as we head into the recession, they first thought we were going to have a soft landing. Now things are, now we're going to feel some pain. I really think that this is going to ensure that at least regionally, we are going to have a softer landing than we are nationally because of the diversification and because of that niche that we have created.
Oh, that is good. So we've gained these jobs back, but I see help wanted signs everywhere. Where are these people? One, where'd they go? And two, is our population trend growing that we're going to be continually bring in people to work because we have so many open positions?
Well, and that's the problem with all of the jobs that we have created out in Tri-Center. We started with Tesla, now we have quite a number of large companies. Well, as I said, our emphasis, our employment has shifted to manufacturing. That creates a lot of pain. That's $30+ an hour jobs. Creates a lot of pain for the businesses that are paying $14 an hour, which is the average wage for that leisure and hospitality. So you're not going to be, or at least you're going to have a very hard time finding bartenders and waiters and servers. And that is an issue that we're going to have to deal as a region, is we're going to have to import people, but as we're importing them, are they all going to go to Tri-Center where it's $30 per hour? And with that, then are we willing to pay our servers $30 and have, $40 burgers?
Yeah.
That's something as a region we're going to have to figure out, because that is kind of that growing pain that we have created. We have high-paying jobs, so it has really shifted our population.
Well, Brian, you track population trends. What are you seeing in the growth in our region?
Well, so when you're adding 9,000 jobs per year, which we did between 2014 and 2019 in the Reno Sparks MSA, and you were at unemployment rate of 3%, sub threes, you absolutely have to have in-migration to cover those 9,000 new jobs a year, right? So our employment growth over that decade of 2010s was much, much slower than the 2000 decade. And so we were, that's why we're so low on unemployment rates. In-migration right now, 20, 29-year-olds leads the wave coming into Washoe County, which is really good for labor force issues.
Good.
Okay. But now we're bumping up against that affordability issue, right? Can you afford to live here, move here, and when you're 20 years old, and afford $1,600 rent or a $600K house? So that's kind of maybe going to put a little bit of a damper on our population in migration because of this affordability issue.
Well, yeah, that makes the challenge for the area. I know we're going to talk about affordability actually in our next segment. We'll be right back after this quick break.
Ahern Rentals began as Signal Gas Station on Las Vegas Boulevard. Founder John Ahern grew the business by offering rentals. His son Don built on John's legacy, growing Ahern Rentals into the largest independently owned American rental company, with 89 locations in 30 states. Don also brought his experience and vision to equipment manufacturing with Extreme Manufacturing and Snorkel. Today, Ahern Rentals continues to bring its family values to a new generation. Learn more at ahern.com.
As you know, Reno is booming. Toll's development company is helping it grow with insightful design and development, building community with every project, adding beauty, adding excitement, emphasizing our shared humanity. Reno is becoming bigger. Toll's development is helping it become better, more livable, more enjoyable. To learn more, go to tollsdevelopment.com. tollsdevelopment.com.
It's the $250,000 Progressive Windfall of Cash at Carson Valley Inn. Weekly Progressives could accumulate up to $35,000 in cash and $20,000 in guaranteed grand prize giveaways. It's the $250,000 Progressive Windfall of Cash at the Carson Valley Inn.
Pro Group Management specializes in providing industries with the necessary components to satisfy and exceed workers' comp requirements. Every business has unique needs and specific regulations. Pro Group Management stays ahead of the curve, providing up-to-date services to keep your industry in top form. Discover how we simplify your tasks, improve efficiency, and reduce expense to keep you moving in a positive direction. Pro Group Management, workers' comp that works for you.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers. I'm Randi Thompson, and I'm joined today by Brian Bonnenfant and Eugenia Larmore. So you talked a little bit about population, and all I hear is how people say, stop moving to Reno, stop moving to Reno. But they're not stopping to moving to Reno, are they?
No, I mean, we're seeing a little bit of slowdown, though, in the housing, of course. 2021 was just an anomaly year for the housing market as far as prices and the amount of sales. So now we're tracking, 15% less in new home sales right now, calendar year to date, compared to 2021, and we're down 12% in the existing home market. So we are seeing that slow down, but you're seeing the multifamily, the apartments continue to build,
yeah.
And that's because of the vacancy rates at 2.6, 2.7% in the last 2 quarters. And so when you're seeing
that's low,
a vacancy rate below
yeah.
5%, you're going to continue to see the builders build.
Mm-hmm.
And then what we're hearing from the developers is that if they have apartments in what they call opportunity zones, which is federally incentive programs for these blighted low moderate income tracts, that those apartments will not be affected by this inflation and interest rate increases because of how those are financed through the opportunity zones. So we have a lot of apartments in these opportunity zones in downtown and throughout Reno. So you're going to see the multifamily really pick up that slack to provide that housing for this population growth that will continue at 1.5% per year.
So what are you saying population is now in Washoe County?
We should be reaching that 500,000 milestone right now. July 1, if we added 6,000 July 1, 2022, we would be at the 500,000 mark.
Wow. Okay.
So yeah, it's a pretty good milestone. 500.5 million for Washoe County. Finally met that this year.
Now they have to change all the state laws that say any county with a population less than 500,000, because now we're there. Esoteric question: what's driving the population growth? Is it the jobs that are available, or the people that want to move here and then find a job? I mean, what are you seeing? What do you see? What is the trend there?
Both, but primarily jobs.
Okay.
Our last year, 2021, our wages reached an average of $31 per hour. That's significant wages. A lot of the jobs out on Tri-Center they're not highly skilled jobs. They're on-the-job trained jobs. So that makes it very attractive for people from other regions that may be not growing or where the wages are not growing. Over the last 2 years, our wages grew by 20%, so significant growth. So that obviously makes it attractive for the 20 to 29-year-olds, right? You graduate high school and you're making $30 an hour. That's pretty impressive. But then, of course, there's the quality of life. Right, that you can't, I mean, obviously we're all here biased, but you can't beat the quality of life. So I think it's a combination of both, but I think employment is really the driver that makes people at least look at the region.
So have we seen a shift from the pandemic, that work at home kind of mentality, and we're seeing, I keep hearing people saying, okay, time to come back to the office. Have you seen any trends that you think might stay permanent of the work from anywhere kind of mentality? Because if you want to work a place that has skiing and biking and kayaking and hiking and boating, why not live in Reno and work remotely? But have you seen kind of any trends at this point nationwide or even locally? The shift from the pandemic?
You bring up a conundrum within the data. So when the data of employment is reported, it's based at that address of that entity or entity. So if that's remote workers working for that address downtown, it's not going to pick that up within Department of Employment data. So the data points that we see and get do not expose remote workers whatsoever. They're still going to be counted at that headquarter address. So it's really, you're going to need a survey to collect that data. And I believe the airport just did a survey to try to ascertain that question, and I have not seen the results, but that's what we're going to need, is more localized surveys to find this out. Back to, who's moving here, I do want to point out that our number one new home development, as far as number one in sales, this year currently is Caramel Estates and Damani Ranch, which is an average price of $937,000. Sold the most homes out of about 50 developments in Reno Sparks. That was the number one home seller. Number two was up in Spanish Springs at an average price of $700K. So to me, that tells me that we're still seeing that high wage or high income households moving into the area. And maybe because of this California out-migration, they've lost population two years in a row now, and I think we're seeing some of that.
Are you seeing some of the retirement as well? I mean, rich Californians selling their house and moving here that are older, that are not working anymore? I mean, what are the numbers for the 65 and over? I mean,
there are about 1,500 new persons in migration per year. So they're right up there with the 20-somethings. So we get a sizable, but it's it's the weather that really the retirees don't like. They like the Sun Belt, right?
Right, that's true.
If they can shovel snow off the driveway, then they'll move here. But
yeah, very true. So what are you saying? So you feel like a soft landing for this recession. What are you looking at for the housing market? We keep hearing people going, "Oh my gosh, we're going to have the crash of 2010 again." Are you seeing a kind of a downward trend that is bottoming out, that's scary?
Sales are definitely going to suffer. I think there's going to be pain in the households and businesses, like Powell said, in 2023. But our region, we're pretty bullish because of what we got going on, plugged into EV industries and lithium mining now and recycling. And so our appreciation rates on the housing for the rest of the year are still going to be 6 to 12% every quarter, year over year. As we get into 2023, that's when things are really going to come back to normal, right? A 4 to 6% appreciation rate is where we need to be. And so when 2023 is what we're expecting, that we're going to hit those marks and kind of bounce at 575, 625 through 2023, which will give us that 4 to 6% appreciation rate. So we're no crash, no bubble. Our wages are very, very strong. Out in Tri-Center, they're $45-46 an hour. Washington's $32. So as wages continue to grow north, and then as we kind of mellow out that appreciation rate, and if we can keep mortgage rates down 5%, we'll still be okay with home sales. Just not as at the great volumes we saw in 2021.
Well, and hopefully it'll be a little more affordable for everybody too.
Correct.
That's the whole idea. I know. Well, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back after this.
Reckless government spending on frivolous projects is bad enough. Even worse, spending to send COVID relief checks to criminals in prison. Senator Catherine Cortez Masto voted to allow COVID relief checks to go to the likes of the Boston Marathon bomber and hundreds of thousands of other convicted murderers and criminals, allowing almost $1 billion in COVID relief checks to go to hardened criminals in prison. Tell Senator Cortez Masto to start voting against reckless, wasteful spending to stop inflation.
Hi, I'm Renee Summerauer, digital news anchor here at 7 at 7. Watch our streaming nonstop newscast immediately with your mobile phone. 7 at 7 is the new way for you to get every bit of local news you need in just 7 minutes. Breaking news, local neighborhood news, weather, and sports are just a click away. Reporters bring you all of what's happening in the Valley. From Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV, YouTube, and more. Get every bit of local news you need from the RJ and LVRJ.com.
Modern boutique Ahern Hotel and Events Center in Las Vegas. Host meetings and events on 2 floors. Stay in luxurious rooms and suites. Unlimited branding opportunities. Regional Italian cuisine by Chef Mark Segrisi. Flexible event spaces. Full buyout options. Visit ahernhotel.com today.
Nevada Newsmakers Studio is located at the headquarters of the Nevada Trucking Association. Motion and purpose are a truck's greatest virtue.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
And we're back on Nevada Newsmakers. I'm Randi Thompson, joined with Brian Bonnenfant and Eugenia Larmore. So, Eugenia, you gave me a white paper that you provided to the city of Reno on the fiscal impact analysis of a variety of land uses, be it single-family, multifamily, retail, industrial, based on the guidelines that the city adopted in 2019. And your analysis showed that the guidelines make it difficult for some land uses to have a positive fiscal impact on the city. Can you kind of dummy this down for me and just say that obviously some place, residential makes more money for the city than retail? Is that kind of where this is going?
Exactly. This is kind of an example of those unintended consequences of policies. City of Reno has required fiscal impact analyses of various, usually larger developments. And what we look at is how much revenue will the project generate for the city in terms of property taxes, sales taxes, and then how much cost for police and fire. It's a very responsible analysis to look at prior to approving a project. A few years ago, I think 2019, they created this guidelines document that shows you for, let's say, if you're building single-family detached residential, here's how much per home you're going to generate in taxes, this is how much the cost is going to be. And it outlined these revenues and costs by land use. And the reason, you and I got into this is the city likes, we has goals of what needs to be developed, right? We really want to have a balanced development. Obviously, for developers, they're probably going to make the most money doing single-family detached in Caramella Ranch, highest margins. But the city needs balanced development. What this may be one of the, I'm assuming unintended, but one of the consequences of this is that the way the costs in this guidelines are structured is it puts a heavy cost burden on commercial and industrial space and also apartments. So if you're going to build apartments or commercial space in a low-income, low property value area, you may not pencil out. You may actually show that your project is going to be negative. Fiscal impacts, and the city has stated this over and over, they're only a small component in the approval project, right? We're looking at wildlife and transportation and everything, and they will not deny a project based solely on the negative fiscal impact, but it may discourage the developer. It may make the project not look as good if there's other issues with the project. So I think this is just something that, while the city speaks of needing certain land uses, this document may make it difficult to get those land uses approved.
Well, you don't build a project to lose money on it. Let's be blunt about that. I'm not going to. I mean, I own a business. I don't own it just so people can have a job to go to. I'm there to make money. So if the city's not looking at how they're addressing some of these, they seems like they need to be revamping their guidelines a little bit.
And probably.
Yeah. So, so we've talked about this. One of my favorite places in town is Shush Boom Brewing on South Virginia Street. And you were hired by that company to come in and do some analysis for them. And that's kind of what you do, is you help businesses kind of decide where you want to go, how you want to do. So what did you do for Shush Boom? I'm kind of curious.
So the Nevada Small Business Development Center is a statewide outreach through UNR. And so we have offices in Vegas and across the state. So within these offices, we have business counselors that offer free, confidential, one-on-one counseling. We have student interns, and we've got the data component. And so for Shush Boom, we help them with help them with the site location, understanding the market down there, and then heavy on the finance. And so being in our position at UNR, we have confidential access to taxable sales by entity. So we can look at other brewery restaurants in the region and give Shush Boom an idea in their finance plan on what their incomes are gonna be in year 1, year 2. And that's really, really important when you put all your risk on the line to open up a brewery in South Reno. So I think we really help in the demographics, understanding revenues for year 1, and with actual data. And a lot of people use for-hire consultants to do their business plan, and they use national data estimates for revenues that can really get them in trouble, and they're risking their houses and collateral to open up these businesses. So using this actual data with confidential counselors. And with Shush Boom, it was several meetings, several hours of consultation to dial in that business plan and get them really prepared for that business. So a very successful business. Right now they're suffering with the parking, right? It's such a success. So they're a great success story for the Small Business Development Center. And if anybody wants to start a business, go there and sign up with a counselor.
Yeah, no, it's a great resource for our community that people might not necessarily know about. Well, thank you guys for making me feel a little more comfortable today that we're not going to hit bottom and we're going to have a little softer landing for this recession. And I just thank you guys for what you do and the information you provide. It really is very helpful.
Thank you, Randy.
You bet.
Thank you.
We'll be back right after this.
It's the $85,000 football frenzy at Tamarack Casino with up to $15,000 in weekly cash and free play giveaways and $25,000 in grand prize giveaways Thursday, September 29th. Your good times are at Tamarack Casino during the $85,000 football frenzy.
Early in the morning or throughout the night, professional truck drivers are on the job, serving you, safely moving freight that's crucial to our economy. From the oldest industries to our newest innovators. From the exotic to the everyday, trucks are everywhere, moving everything. Never afraid to embrace a future that makes Nevada and our nation stronger. Trucking moves America forward.
What do you count on? You count on your power every day. At NV Energy, we've always powered what's important to you, but we're not looking at the past. We're focused on the future. While our standards are high, our rates will remain low. And our commitment to renewables isn't just meeting standards, but leading the way. Because you can count on more than just your power. You can count on the company who brings it to you. That's our promise. You can count on it.
Each day, the Children's Advocacy Alliance partners with leaders, legislators, and families across Nevada to improve children's health, education, economic well-being, and safety. We recognize Nevada will be no better than the state of its children. Be a part of this change. Be a supporter of the Children's Advocacy Alliance. For more information, go to caanv.org.
Brian Culpa Photography was born in the rolling hills of Massachusetts, and now he can help you experience the stunning beauty of Nevada in a whole new way through the power of flight. Flying has always been a passion for Brian, and at Brian Culpa Photography, he can make your imagination soar. Brian has the creative mind and tools to tell your unique story. Experience the bird's eye view at brianculpaphotography.com. Southwest Specialties has been making the homes and businesses of Nevada beautiful for more than 20 years. Their experienced designers and craftsmen create the walkways, backyards, water features, and a variety of outdoor cooking areas that add curb appeal and value to your investment. Call today or visit them at their website and see how they can make your outdoor spaces special. Southwest Specialties, creative, distinctive, beautiful.
With Nevada's only transplant center and verified burn center, the science is here. With award-winning cardiologist and the state's only dedicated heart failure clinic, the talent is here. With Nevada's most advanced robotic surgery, the technology is here. And with the Silver State's only designated pediatric trauma center, hope is here. All because we are here. UMC.
Thank you for watching and listening, and you can watch us anytime at NevadaNewsmakers.com. We have archives that go back years, some great shows. We appreciate you watching and listening.